Hello, this is Cloakin, and this is the very first sneak peek of Super Evil Megacorp's new game, Catalyst Black. Catalyst Black is a team-based, drop-in, drop-out, large-scale shooter set in an inviting world of mystery and magic. Each player has access to an array of fantastic weapons and abilities. Additionally, players can draw on the powers of ancient masks, allowing them to transform into primal gods from another realm. At its core, Catalyst Black is a refined battleground shooter. It can be played on a virtual joystick, a physical controller, or even with mouse and keyboard. The controls are designed to be accurate and crisp on all devices. Our aspiration here has been to take top-down shooters to the next level, much like Halo did with first-person shooters on console. Similar to looter shooters like Destiny, your playstyle is defined by the various weapons and abilities you choose. Catalyst Black allows you to load out a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, an ability, and a unique passive. How you choose to equip your character determines your unique playstyle, whether as a sniper who hides in brush, or an aggressive all-in assassin. A unique twist in Catalyst Black is the ability to transform. In addition to your weapons and human abilities, you can also equip a mask that lets you temporarily transform into a powerful primal god. These gods can also be tailored to match your playstyle by mixing and matching unique active and passive abilities. Primal gods bring immense strength to battle, allowing players to shift the tides in their favor. For example, Sunder is a deadly, durable, and fast melee bruiser that can take out entire teams in seconds. Isia, on the other hand, is a long-range glass cannon that can lay waste to enemies from afar. Catalyst Black includes multiple maps and game modes where teams of 10 to 20 players compete both against each other and against powerful monsters. It aspires to take the refinement and depth of large-scale battles in our favorite AAA RPGs and shooters and combine it with the accessibility and immediacy of mobile brawlers. To achieve this, Catalyst Black allows players to join or leave a match at any time for any reason. This drop-in, drop-out design makes it easy to instantly find games or join friends just by dropping into their match. Play for 5 minutes or 5 hours, it's your choice. Catalyst Black is still in an alpha stage at this point. We're still evolving and tweaking the formula, but we are excited about where it's heading. Check out our social channels to stay in touch and join us at discord.gg/catalystblack to be a part of our growing community.
All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us here for this reveal. Of course, you've seen the intro footage. We're here to talk about Catalyst Black. What was once known as Project Spellfire, we've confirmed is now titled Catalyst Black, and we're here to talk with some important designers working on that game. You're familiar with these faces. This is Q Wang and Patrick O'Callaghan. Guys, thank you for joining me today to talk about this. I know this is a very exciting / kind of nerve-wracking day as we kind of pull the curtain back on things, but thank you for being here.
Hey, this is Spiderhelm.
All right, guys. So let's jump into it. Catalyst Black. Q, I'm going to start with you. I want to hear a little bit about what this game is. Like, if you had to just succinctly describe this game to a viewer and really what it is at its core, because it is somewhat new. I'd love to hear that from you and give that to the audience that's watching.
Yeah, sure. So Catalyst Black is something we call a battleground shooter. And if you're going to say, oh my God, another genre name, it's because this isn't quite the same as any existing genre. It is something different. It's got familiar elements, but it is its own thing, and we came up with a new word to describe it, a battleground shooter. It involves big maps, 20 plus players total, boss battles that happen while you're fighting other players, and really, really big power spikes. And on top of that, it's a multi-game mode game, so it's not focused on just any single map or game mode. And last but not least, PvEVP. That is thrown into every single part of the experience. The best way I would describe it, if I had to use like Vainglory language, would be think like the entire map is a jungle and counter-jungling experience, and there's always a Kraken fight or two somewhere that's happening. It's not a hero-based game, it's going to be a gear-based game, so there's going to be quite a bit of customization that you can do both in your human form and also in the primal form. You saw in the video that you can turn into primal gods. That is the big power spike that we talk about. That has its own loadout as well, so it's about building out your human loadout, your primal loadout, dropping into these huge battles and fighting players and NPCs at the same time.
Man, that game sounds awesome. It is awesome because we are in there playing it. It's super enjoyable, and I'm very, very pumped for the future of this game. Patrick, I'm turning to you now. I want to hear your opinion, your thoughts on unpacking a bit about what Q has mentioned here. Why head in this direction? Why a shooter? Just help me understand the motivations behind the decisions that brought us to Catalyst Black here.
Yeah, so starting with the shooter side of it, so this is very much in our DNA. It's something that we're very, very passionate about. So people who've been following the Vainglory heroes, you'll notice that we have a lot of love letters to other genres in there. So Lance, definitely not from the shooter genre, but if you look at someone like Lance, you're definitely going to tell like, oh, they really love the Souls genre, for instance. But you'll also notice that there's a whole lot of heroes who have these very interesting basic attack patterns. And when we were talking about those internally, we were always talking about those in terms of gunplay. So when we were developing Lyra, or obviously something more like on the nose like Baron, when we were developing these characters, we were talking about gunplay. And anybody who's familiar with the shooter genre knows what that means. It means tactile, texture, there's a rhythm, there's like a pattern to it that you want to learn and develop and fall in love with. And that's one of the things that I consider very signature about Vainglory, but ultimately Vainglory wasn't a game just about shooting, and it wasn't something that we were really fully exploring that space, and it was very much in that core MOBA space. And what we're trying to explore here is, you know, what if we take the shooter genre? What if we take that and like really drive that somewhere that's really cool? But also PvE, as Q mentioned, like you're talking about like these bosses that you're going to be fighting at the same time as other players, and you can lean more into that PvE side. It's something where, yeah, we have that DNA also of being a competitive game company. But at the same time, so many of us have that background of all those experiences we had in PvE. And while you could do really cool things with Blackclaw or, you know, these other creatures that you'd fight in Vainglory, it wasn't quite at the level of being much more than like, you know, you do this as a part of fulfilling a win condition, but ultimately it's about like just the PvP space and that hardcore element there. But there's also the hardcore PvE element that we want to get in there. So that's a big part of it. And then, of course, as Q mentioned, big. So Kevin, you and I know this, like we spent a lot of time back in World of Warcraft playing Alterac Valley. You know, those really big battleground experiences where they have a special place in your memory. Like capturing some of that magic again is really important to us.
Yeah, man, I love the Alterac Valley comparison because such a unique battleground, even from a World of Warcraft perspective, the ability to kind of come into the middle of this massive epic thing that's going on. And for context, for those of you who are watching, Patrick and I worked together, or at least we're a part of a community together in a previous life in some ways. Patrick used to run a community around World of Warcraft called TankSpot. I was heavily involved there, even made a documentary about raiding in WoW. But yes, our background a lot comes from there, and it's really fun to be back working with Patrick in this regard. But Hugh, I'm coming back to you. I want to ask you a little bit more about this sort of looter-shooter space. You have a massive passion there in your free time and in the games that you enjoy. Destiny, Halo, this background there. How is your love of that space impacting the work that we're doing on Project Spellfire Catalyst Black?
Yeah, so I went on a huge looter shooter binge in 2018, 2019. And the thing that I really, really enjoy about that is just being able to piece together your own build via the loadout and be able to do crazy things that sometimes the game designer did not intend you to be able to do. So, like I said, Catalyst Black, it is not a hero-based game, it is a loadout-based game. And it's not like the main difference is that you're basically able to customize. Imagine being able to piece together the abilities in the passive and make your own Vainglory hero. Like, to me, that is the main difference between loadout and hero. It gives you the freedom to start doing stuff that may not have been initially planned out for. And in a larger scale, I think there's room to let players do some really crazy stuff. When you have a really tightly balanced 3v3 or 5v5, there's a very narrow range before things get really OP, and you just can't let players do certain things. There were abilities and things removed from MOBAs just because, like, after a while we were just like, this doesn't work. MOBAs just have to be tightly balanced, like Echo.
Exactly.
But one of the benefits of having large scale is that you can actually have much crazier things happen. If someone does something that's really wild, someone else can pull out something equally wild but different and counterplay that. So we want to just take the risk of opening up the options a bit instead of giving you prefabricated heroes of like, this is your combo, take your A and combo it with your C in this scenario. You're going to be able to piece together your loadout and do it twice. Once for your regular human form, and then when you transform into a god, that has also a loadout of its own.
Man, so exciting and so much to dig into there. I can't wait to unpack a little bit of this more with our community as we move on in sharing more about this game. But Patrick, I want to come back to you real quick. And I want to ask you a very specific question, given the company's history. Why didn't we just make another Vainglory game? I know so much time, love, heart has been poured into the Vainglory universe. Why didn't we build a game in that universe to expound upon it and sort of extend it? Why something new here with Catalyst Black?
So first, to start before anything, Vainglory is a universe that we still love and cherish, and it's something that we want to come back to. So just kind of diving into the themes a little bit, like man versus machine versus nature, where Churn is this force of nature, and you've got the technologists versus Githia and the Eventides who have their mages. And in Catalyst Black, like, you've got these people that are carrying guns and transforming into these primal gods. And it's a very different experience for what we're trying to, the world we need to build around this. So like, we actually have concept art of Celeste running around with a rifle, and it just doesn't quite feel right. And we talked about, should we have staff weapons? But if we were to keep Vainglory in the universe, like, it robs characters like Vox of who they are, but we want it to go a different way overall. Like, Catalyst Black, what we want is something brighter, where there's more hope just to start with, and it's about exploration and discovery. It's about you becoming the hero. It's about your journey, taking on these powers, speaking to what Q was mentioning, and how you put together who you are. It's also about people fighting for harmony and coexistence. It's not so much about the man versus machine versus nature. And of course, the mask and turning into this primal god, that's so central to this universe. And we really just be forcing it onto the Vainglory universe in a way that doesn't fit. So we really needed to have a space to tell these stories. Now, we still want to revisit Vainglory in the future. It's such a rich space, and there's so many stories to wrap up and still to tell. But for what we're building here, it really needed to be its own universe.
So awesome, Patrick. And as Q and you know, I'm hyper passionate about world building and lore, and I can't wait to unpack more of the mysteries of the world behind Catalyst Black for our viewers. It's something I care about deeply. So, okay, guys, that's probably enough from us. I want to tell you how you can stay informed on this game. We are opening up all of our social media channels for Catalyst Black today, along with our Discord. And Discord's going to be a really important place for us. It's actually going to be where we're going to engage with you guys consistently. We're going to maybe do some preemptive reveals of content there. So if you want to be plugged in with the game and where we're headed, please do head over to discord.gg/CatalystBlack to join our Discord and be a part of our ongoing conversation. We want to share more with you and hear what your hopes are and dreams are for this game. Excited to get your feedback. So thank you for being here with us on this initial reveal. Patrick, Q, do you guys have anything else you want to share with the audience before we sign off here?
No, I just want to say thank you, guys. It's been a long time since we've shown our faces, and we've been working super hard. And right after this, I'm just going to go right back to fixing some UI code. But we're working really hard at building just the best game we can for you guys.
Yep, ditto on that. And I'm going to go right back to breaking some UI code.
That's awesome. And of course, for those of you out there who are plugged in on all the Vainglory Community Edition stuff, we are moving that forward. We're still doing updates there as well, so we will be engaged on both fronts, but please do join us. Vainglory Discord, Catalyst Black Discord, we want to see you there. Thank you for being here with us, and of course, never settle for the lesser evil.